It's live now to Gaza City, a media conference happening there.
The security apparatus's headquarters over the duration of 3 hours using warplanes, namely fighter jets F-16. And in the face of this ferocious Zionist massacre, we in the Palestinian government reiterate the following. First, the government with pride and dignity eulogize all the martyrs who fell victims, namely the chief of the police, Tawfiq Jabr, and Colonel Ismail al-Jabari, the chief of protection and security apparatus, and hundreds of others who were martyred and wounded. Second, the massacre perpetrated by Israel aims clearly at denting the resolve of the Palestinian people and directing a blow to their heart. However, our resolve cannot be dented and our resolution cannot be shaken. We will continue our struggle in absolute fortitude and steadfastness, targeting the Palestinian security and police apparatuses proves the occupation's aim to shake the security in Gaza Strip, targeting the security forces. These forces were formed away from their eyes or hands. We put the blame and responsibility on the Zionist occupation and its government for all the consequences of this massacre, on the ground and politically. And we reiterate our people's rights and the right of the Palestinian factions to resist and defend our people with all conceivable means. Fifth, we call the Arab states to adopt a decisive position in the face of this ferocious Zionist massacre, and our people cannot accept the mere statement of condemnation, while today we are offering our blood and dead bodies. We reiterate that the regional partners should live up to their responsibility towards the incidents taking place in Gaza, and certain regional parties cannot be relieved from the responsibility of the bloodshed of today. The Palestinian government will remain standing in steadfast, in absolute fortitude, with their heads high, supported by the Palestinian people as elected and as expressed through the election polls. We reiterate and emphasize to one and all that today we are more strong and the grassroots support by our people is growing. We can never lift the white banner expressing defeat. Today the government is discharging its duties, starting or led by the Prime Minister Ismail Haniyeh, followed and supported by other ministers. They are living up to their responsibilities and discharging their duties. Amid this heavy bombardment and from under the rubble and among the dead bodies, we clearly state that we renew our commitment and adherence to our established principles and rights. We can never give up. We can never surrender. We can never offer any political concession. We cannot waive an inch or a single right of our people. And we reiterate our rejection of the conditions laid down by the quartet, nor shall we recognize the legitimacy of the occupation. We call all the Arab and Muslim states and all the honest people in the world to voice out their opinion. Our people pins high hopes on you. We call upon all the mass media to take their lenses and microphones to this massacre, namely the Arab mass media, and we make clear that their support to our people by word and picture is the least that can be offered. And from under this heavy bombardment, and finally, we commemorate the memories of all the martyrs, and we address the occupation who allege that this is merely just the beginning. We say in return, yes, it is just the beginning, and it is you that will take the responsibility for the end. Israel is putting the blame on Hamas for the incidents of today, while you put the blame on them. A spokesman of the Israeli army said that Hamas and the government are to be blamed. Who is to take the blame directly? You pointed fingers at many parties. Can we clearly state what or which parties did you mean? In other words, what do you call on the Arab states for? We can divide the Arab states into two categories. One category who have diplomatic relations with the Israeli occupation, and they always stated that these relations are meant to serve the Palestinian people and to rescue the Palestinian people. And these diplomatic relations can be taken advantage of at the time of crisis. Today, they are at stake. How can you prove that these relations are beneficiary to the Palestinian people? We address all the Arab states. We tell them, you are holding very powerful tools. You can exercise pressures on the international community to break the silence. We cannot accept the mere condemnation from the Security Council or the United Nations. We are people under occupation, enslaved by the siege. We cannot accept in any event the silence of the international community. Pressure should be exercised on the occupation, even by virtue of Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, to hold the massacre initiated against our people. Many armies have mobilized to oblige certain parties to abide by the international law. Our nation is at test. Second, we hold the Israeli forces responsible for the massacre of today. As they claimed, it is just the beginning. However, the end will be drafted and drawn by the Palestinian people. We cannot accept for the Israelis to shape the end of what they began. Our political resolve cannot be dented. Our resolve cannot be shaken despite the bloodshed of today. However, our free resolve cannot be shaken.